Welcome back to another episode of Oru Kural. My name is Angelo and I'm here with Yathu, aka
MochaCaramelito.
So tell me a bit about yourself.
I do TikTok as well as stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I enjoy and like to do. That's hence why my stage name is MochaCaramelito, what I'm better known as. But here, I'm just going to be Yathu today.
Okay, so we've basically decided to have Yathu on today for Men's Mental Health Month. And I think
you.
it's a really nice... I'm really glad that you managed
Yeah, I
to come.
appreciate it.
Trenches, the weather. Was it Storm Bert? It's Storm Bert, yeah. So we've decided to come today to talk about men's mental health and just basically shed some light on it, see like how your take is on it and what messages you can say to the viewers. Okay, so we're gonna start off with just a little bit about yourself. You know, tell us like what made you get into comedy and like how did you lead up here?
So when I was growing up, I loved making people laugh. That was
Mhm.
the thing that I loved the most. I didn't think there was a career in it. I was just like, yeah, let me just go along with whatever. And so I was always the class clown in school as well. Yeah. In fact, I remember in school, I was voted as most likely to be a stand-up comedian. So like,
Look at where we are.
yeah, look where we are. It's crazy how destiny works and so forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I always saw like I wanted to perform on stages. I wasn't a singer, I wasn't a dancer, but I knew I could take comedy to a different route. So I started on TikTok. Literally 0 followers. No one was like no one knew me. I just put it out there. Eventually I got 10k followers and then I performed for a stage for the first time, then 20k, and then it's rising from there. And now I'm about to perform on December 8th. It's me and my brother's event, so if you lot want to come along,
check it out, guys.
Yeah, just either follow me, MochaCaramelito, or my brother Likes Does Comedy. We both run that event. Really appreciate it. And yeah, so it's crazy how life works. And I just wanted to say like any of you lot can do it as well. So like
amazing. Now we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty, okay?
Love it.
So how would you say like what were your barriers that you had to overcome mentally to kind of get where you are? Were there things holding you back? Like how was your mind, tell us?
So I'm gonna get a bit personal.
Yeah,
I feel like that's where you have to be real. Yeah, we're in a safe space. Yeah. So growing up, I wasn't exactly from the richest family. My family came from like a country of genocide, and we automatically ended up in relative poverty. And so I didn't have like the best of clothes, and so bullying came like apparent like from year 7, year 8, like because of the clothes I was wearing, because I was a free school meal as well. That was a thing. Like if you had free school meal, like you're broke, and like yeah, you know what I'm saying, you gotta make fun of that kid. It's easy to pick on. And so that was such a hard time for me, but it made me understand that look, these people don't even know who I am like inside or what I've been through, yet they're coming for me and attacking me. So if they're gonna hate me regardless, might as well do what I want to do anyways. And so I've carried that on throughout my entire life. So even now, if people say something about me, I'll think in my mind like, you weren't there when I was at the bottom, so you have no right to say anything when I'm at the top. And so that's how I overcome my steps and so on.
No, it's really good. So now it's the question you've all been waiting for. How's your mental health?
My mental health is like, it's good. I've got a lot of support, a lot of family. I think that's really important when considering mental health, because people like to do things on their own, which I commend, because it's very difficult to do things like that. But without the support of my family and my friends, especially my stand-up, all of them buy tickets no matter what the distance, no matter where, to show, like, even if they don't make it to the stand-up, they will pay for the ticket just so that the ticket prices go up, and then all of that. And when I have that type of support, I feel like I can achieve anything. Like, it doesn't matter what crowd it is. It doesn't matter how many people are there. My 4 friends that I've been friends with since I was like 10. We live in the same estate. Kishan, Housie, Indu. I love all of them. Without them, I wouldn't be who I am. And my brother and my sister. Like,
of course. No, yeah. It's nice because I think it sets the boundaries of like who you are and what you are because of all the support that you've had around you. And I think like where the problem is, a lot of men like they sometimes feel ashamed to ask for help or like ashamed to like talk about it. And I think like it's difficult, especially coming from a South Asian household. It's the dialect is completely different to like the Western world.
Yeah,
Do you get it?
honestly.
So it's how did our parents take it? So like how were your parents like? I assume that they moved over.
Yeah.
How was that like?
So with with my family being in a South Asian household, the thing is, I've only recently opened up about my mental health to.
And do they take it well?
I don't really. My mum is like. My mom and dad, they can't really understand the concept, but they do try to be there for me in other ways. So like, but they do their best, like because from what they're taught and what they're raised is different to what I've been taught and what I raised and so on. And they didn't have to deal with social media. I think social media is terrible for the youth. Like mental health is so bad because it's always comparison.
Oh my god!
Like comparison is so bad. Like it's unbelievable. That everyone wants to be something they're not, and they look at other people their age and then look down upon themselves. Like I don't have this, I don't have that.
It's that comparison. Yeah, it's too much.
Comparison is the thief of joy, honestly.
Definitely, and I think like the struggles that our parents had, like to deep it, like my mum like moved at like what 21, 22 from Sri Lanka to here.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm 25 now. What have I?
Yeah, I didn't know how to use an oven until I was like 22. So like, so what's going on? Like
what? Like, no, it's crazy, and it's like I get it, like the Western and Eastern world, like the understanding of mental health is completely different. It's so robotic, you know, especially like as men, we're meant to be unemotional. We're meant to be like
the breadwinner,
exactly.
Provider, we need to go for it.
And it's like, what, you know, how are we supposed to fit that into current day society, you know? Yeah, so like as we were saying like with men's mental health, it's like it's so suppressed. Like you can't talk about it. It's if you do, no, that's weird. Like, why you? That's cringe. Like, you know, like, what do you do?
Yeah, growing up, I never really saw my father or brother cry. So like, I felt like in order to be, in order to be a man, like I can't be emotional because they're the men of my family right now. When I was like 5, 6, I would cry all the time whenever like I fell off a bike or something like that, or like I scarred myself. And then I realized like I need to stop crying. I need to stop whinging. Otherwise, I can't be a man like my father and my brother. And so I tended to like think, yo, I need to hide my emotions. I need to be
crazy because like the mental characteristics that you make is literally from what you learn.
Yeah,
what you've seen.
It's vicarious. Yeah,
do you get it? So like, you know, how does it go to the next generation? Like honestly, how?
Yeah. So like, I think that's the thing. Like with men, I feel like we need to talk to our boys like and let them know like, you know, you need to be open about everything. Like you shouldn't like shun about things. So, like especially like when they tell you off, don't cry about it. Like you know what I'm saying? So like that makes you feel like, yo, it's something you shouldn't do, when really we should really be doing that more, because it's good to have a cry sometimes, because it does.
And I think like it's awkward because you can start it from little pockets of friendships and like, you know, how was your day and whatnot, and like ask deeper questions. But when it comes to like the difference between men and female, like again, I don't want to like, you know, make any assumptions, but women are meant to be emotionally available because they talk about these things.
Yeah,
they talk like they'll call up their girl like, yo,
and I respect that so much.
And it's like they can do that.
Yeah,
and it's like
honestly, they can like break a mascara and be like, girl, I broke my mascara. She'll come over, check on her, whatever. Yeah. A guy, we could lose our job and we would have to go, yo, you man, are you on going out? Like that's
gotta find the next
it is
job.
What it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? We move. Like we gotta say it in a deep voice as well. I don't know why in a deep voice, just to make ourselves feel more like a man. That's what it is.
Definitely. And I think like I don't know how, again, like with your upbringing, I'm sure that your dad works really hard. You know, like my dad worked 8 a.m. till like 5 p.m. and then he'll go night shift to like at the petrol station, and I wouldn't see him. I literally would see him on a Sunday, maybe like for 2 hours. And it's like, it's sad because I love my father and I respect him so much. But when it comes to that understanding of father and son relationship, I don't really have that. I have it now because I see him more often.
And you're older and you realize.
Yeah, like, I realize it now. And it's like, it's sad that that's how
you had to understand what he was going through. But sad. Like as a child, you would want him to be there. That's your hero at the end of the day. Like your mother is also your hero.
But then it's like, if I've got a problem, mum help me, mum this, mum that, mum that.
Yeah.
And like women, I'm like, again, I don't want to go off topic, but like women just handle it, or women.
It's like they're the nurturer. Yeah, that's what it is. But you don't look at your dad for that. I hear it. Yeah.
And it's like, how are men supposed to be more emotionally available, more open to conversations when they're so disregarded by it, and they expect women to like continue with? Yeah,
honestly, that's why I feel like with men, if you look at the way when they do open up, they tend to open up to women, like their female friends, or
because they're embarrassed. Like, it's true. Let's be real. Yeah, because honestly, they don't want to feel judged. They don't want to feel that kind of hate, and it's easier to open up to a woman because they know they're going to get a response that they need.
It's honestly, it's true, because women, that's why I have a lot of female friends, because they always help me in these situations. But nowadays I've decided, look, I need to check up on my guys because I don't know what they're going through. They could be having a brave face, like face to face, but in reality, I don't know what they're thinking when they're alone in their room. So it's good to check up on your boys because they just won't open up till you tell them to open up. And the more they hide it, the more you can see it. You can see it through their eyes. I think the eyes never lie, so you can see when someone's going through something through their eyes, even if they don't say anything.
No, definitely, and I feel like you can't change it overnight. Like it's a work in progress.
That's what I would do. It's so hard. You know, with men, because they like with a girl, if she broke her mascara, like I mentioned, she'll find a solution to that within like an hour or whatnot. We'll break a pen. No, that's like break something. We'll hide it. We'll lose our job. We'll hide it. Girl will break up with us. We'll hide it. It'll come to the point where I don't want to be like vulgar or anything, but it's to the point of where you're thinking suicidal thoughts. And it's then when you want to open up. And then when you want to speak out about it. When you cry out for help, I want to speak out about it. And someone does help you. They'll help you for the day. And then you'll think, oh, but I need you more than that because you've never opened it. So you need to like go through all of it. But then not everyone can be there for you every single day because you never found a solution before that. And so then you start bottling it up even more because you feel like that person wasn't there. And then, you're just fighting demons at the end of the day. Because you
definitely. And it's like, I feel like a lot of guys that they don't know how to actually handle the situation at hand. They don't. Simple as.
It's sad. It's a sad reality.
It is really sad. And that's why we're saying speak up. Speak up, because sometimes it can be, again, like I've spoken about this already, it's cringe, it's this, it's that, it's this stigma, that. Honestly, why care about what people think?
Ironically,
you're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, honestly, ironically, they say you're weak for crying, but for me, it shows your strength when you're like not following the norm, when you're going against the norm, when you're actually admitting you're crying in front of a bunch of men that are saying you shouldn't cry. It shows me that you're a stronger individual, that you stand on your own feet and you are open with your emotions. And I respect and commend you more for doing that.
You know, how can you actually change society if you're not willing to change? And like, you got to take those small steps because it's bravery at the end of the day. But then where the issues lie is that, again, I'm not trying to get cancelled, but like girls will be like, oh, like what's the big issue? Because they've been used to all of this emotional stuff. So like, you can't ask a female how to think like a man, and like, you can't ask a guy how to think like a girl. You know, like we're asking men to be more emotionally available, and the first thing that will come out of their mouth is, "Am I a girl?"
Yeah.
You know, am I thinking like a woman? No, I've got to think like a man. I've got to man up. I've got to do this. And it comes back to the point you were saying about the mascara, right? If your girl came and told you, you know, my mascara broke and she's having a bad day about it, what would you say? Like, as men, they'll be like, oh yeah, just get
anyone,
whatever.
It's not that deep.
Did you get it?
It's not that deep. They love saying it's not that deep.
And then how do you think that's going to make her feel?
Yeah, exactly. But we're projecting, if you think about it, because it's what we say to ourselves. Yeah.
It's actually not your fault. It's your upbringing. It's
the way you've learned life, And so you think, oh, it's not that deep. And then you start saying it's not that deep to things that are actually deep because that's what you've been controlled in your mind to do. So, So I think, like, reality, I think one thing men are quite embarrassed to do is to see a therapist. Because, like, it's like a taboo. Like, you shouldn't be seeing someone to speak one-to-one because you should be able to deal with it on your own. You're a man. You're a big guy. Why do you need to speak to someone? When in reality, men need more therapy than women.
They do.
It's crazy.
Like, a lot of women have support from their girls. You know? And I feel like men don't. It's sad because I feel like men don't have that emotional language. They don't actually understand what is going on, and they don't. No one likes to be like admitting to this.
No, you're not. You're right, because like you see when women post, on like days that it's men's mental health month, they'll post that men should open up more. I think in reality, it's not that men don't want to cry. I think men don't know how to cry. I know that sounds crazy, but we don't know when or why we should be upset. So we like sort of invalidate our feelings ourselves because we don't know if we're allowed to feel that type of way. I'm guilty of this as well because like partially I remember growing up like, yo, I shouldn't cry. I'm a big guy, whatever. And then I'm gonna be a bit personal. When my grandma passed away, I remember like I cried the first day a lot because that was the day I lost her. And then I thought the second day, yo, am I still allowed to cry about this? Because it just happened.
That's mad.
Like I was thinking, yo, like, can I cry again? Like, or am I stretching it? Like, I was really thinking those things. Like,
what are people gonna think of me?
Not even what people are thinking of me. By myself, I was thinking, yo, like, am I allowed to cry?
Deeper than what I just said.
Yeah, am I allowed to cry again?
Your understanding is that, wait, am I allowed to do this?
Yeah, am I eligible to cry again. Like I've done it once. Like let me like pick it up, go like move on. Like this life happens, whatever. And when in reality, grieving is such a terrible thing that I wouldn't wish on anyone, but everyone has to go through it, unfortunately. And I think that's when everyone's at their most emotional vulnerability, because it's like you don't know what to do then, and there's not much anyone can say to you to help you in that situation. It's something you have to go through by yourself. And if you're not in one with your emotion, it can be really hard because you push it aside, but it's going to really affect you in the long run. You start not going on time on work, you start not replying to people, you start looking like you're inactive, you're not caring, when in reality, you're just not in touch with our emotions. And I think that's what men need to do more. I
think like a nice thing to say is that like, so I'm saying check up on your boys. Like, check up on them.
Even if nothing's wrong, check up on them.
Check on them.
Yeah.
You know, like it's such a valid thing, and it's such an important thing because forget men, female, we're human. We're human, and we have the same capacity of mental health. I think that's a very key point. We have the same capacity.
Yeah.
Whether men have been, you know, able to see that capacity is where the question is.
Yeah.
Because it's what they've been learned, as you were saying.
Yeah, it's they tend to just hide it, and it's scary because you'd think there's only so much you could hide, but you hide it to the point where, unfortunately, men's suicide rates is at the highest. So sad. Like
it really is. It really is.
And you see a lot of these like clips on social media about, oh, this was the last video we've taken of him. He's smiling, he's partying, and then the next slide is like, yo, he's gone. And it's like, how much was he hiding really? How much did he need to let out? We don't know that, and we will never know that because they're gone. It's too late. But we need to put a stop to that. We need to make a change, and we need to like encourage men. Like honestly, just cry. Like it's good to cry. I cry. Like everyone cries. You know what I'm saying? It's like crying is good. Like I feel like you need a good cry here and there, because like without crying, like it's like you're just bottling it all in. Like it's unnecessary.
Like, you know, as a teacher for like 2 years now, when I see these kids, like, my number one rule in this class is like, you can joke around together, you can say the wrong answer. Like, I teach maths, and the number one thing is like, crap, I can't say the answer because in case it's wrong, people are gonna laugh at me. You know, it stems from like basic principle. Stop caring about what other people think, because trust me, they're laughing to join the club, but deep down they probably thought your answer was correct.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah,
so
it's you don't know what other people
you don't
really
actually know what they're thinking just because they're making opinions from you. What are their opinions deep down? You know, and like my next question, in fact, is like, how do you deal with hate comments? You know, you must get like, you get positives and you get negatives.
Yeah, literally, I've got a hate comment right now. Yeah, it's like I posted a stand-up clip. I'm currently shadow banned, which is fine. Whatever happens, in it, like you get to that stage. And this video doesn't have that many views, but there's one comment, and it's quite funny. I find it funny, but it's like I think he didn't enjoy what I posted. So it's like, put the fries in the bag now. I was like, and I found it funny. I was like, that's pretty humorous, but that was intended to hate. But for me, the way I see it is, not growing up from social media and like, you know, going on stage and all of that. In order for me to have done that, I had to really love myself, like, more than anything. And that's something that men lack, to love themselves, because it's an emotion at the end of the day. And so
it makes you emotionally available.
Yeah,
you get it?
Yeah, honestly, because you're kinder to yourself. And so you see, when you love yourself so much, you have no time for hate, because hate doesn't come into your body. All that is in love, like, because that's what you feel about yourself, feel about others.
It's insecurity.
Yeah. So when I see hate comments, I don't even like react negatively. I genuinely feel sorry, because in order for you to have hate in your body, it means there's something that you lack inside within yourself. And honestly, it means you're thinking about me and I'm not thinking about you. And it's nice to live in two places at once: my parents' home and your mind, and they're both rent free. So yeah, so like that's how I deal with hate comments. Definitely. So like, you know what I'm saying, like, you can hate me all you want, but I won't notice that. I won't pay attention to that, because look, I have love in me.
It's a very good point that you're saying, because naturally, if someone was giving you hate, you would expect you to deflect it and be like, nah, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
Like, zoom in on their profile picture, have a look and see what they look like and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's because you're filled with so much love inside, you don't have the need to hate back.
No, honestly, and like, sometimes I'll see it as, sometimes I'll see it as well, like, I'll see, like, it's always these anonymous accounts as well with no, like, like followers, no nothing, that feel the need to hate. And the only reason they hate is because they don't have enough love for themselves. So the only way they can feel that type of satisfaction is to bring you down to their level. And that's the only way they can encourage themselves to feel a certain like emotion about themselves. But in reality, they don't love themselves enough. And so I kind of like wish well for them. Like I don't see it as hate. I see it as you're crying out for help. Because you don't know me. You don't know me, but you have hate for me. That's like you gotta think, you got things to do, bro. Like indeed our marriage, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't need to think about me like that.
So my next question is like, how do growing up, how do you cope with like growing up in the South Asian community, with you dealing with your emotions,
growing up it was difficult because like you don't know who to speak to because like like your parents have come to this country like from like the trenches. Honestly, like it's not easy getting from there to there, and at a young age as well. Bear in mind, it's not like they came in at like when they were 30 with a lot of money. They came in at probably a lot of the parents came at 19, 20, and then once they've come here, they've had to then raise kids by 21, 22. So their mindset is always work hard, strive for success, no time for emotions. So then when it comes to emotions, you deal with in a westernized society, I feel like you're prone to more emotions because there's so much more. You have social media, you have a lot more people judging you, and like it's a lot to take in. And so talking to South Asian parents is very difficult. Very difficult. Because you feel like you're slightly letting them down.
Yeah.
Every time you open up, you're slightly, especially as a man.
Like, this is not man.
This
is not my son.
Like, as a woman, you can't even open up. They'll tell you, just clean the kitchen, like something like that. Because they make the women do all the work in the house. So as a man, it's even worse because it's like, what? You feel upset? What are you talking about? Like that doesn't even like comprehend in their mind.
True.
So